This afternoon, I'll be talking about the digital solution offered by Jihu 360 for about 50 minutes, and then I'll open myself up for questions. Has anybody here heard about Jihu 360, except you, Bruno, please? Has anyone else heard about Jihu? Okay, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, not a lot. That's why I'm here. If you all know about Jihu 360, I don't have to come here. So, Jihu 360 is the largest internet security company in China. We introduced a free antivirus in 2005, and today we have approximately 98% market share on PC antivirus. So you rarely would see your friends in China using McAfee, Kaspersky, or Symantec. PC users are mostly using us for a couple of reasons. The topic today is about big data analytics and your first step to the Chinese market. I know some of you are not doing your first step, but already step 2, 3, 4, or 5. But, oh, something's wrong. But the product that we introduced, antivirus, was the first one, and then the second one, we launched a browser in 2008, where we are now today also #1 in terms of desktop browser. In the end of 2012, we have introduced our search engine. So, okay, should we use this one? Okay, that's good. So I'll come here and click.
It's okay.
Perfect. Okay. So briefly, to tell you a little bit more about myself, I spent 15 years working as a network security consultant. So I'm actually a security guy. If you have questions about, why my Gmail is hacked, how can I get Mariah Carey's Facebook account, these are the questions I get used to ask a lot. Firewalls, antivirus. 2014. I have been assigned to take care of the international advertising business. A lot of you guys have heard about Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, or some other big giants in China. We are very well known in China, but whenever I'm crossing the border, even to Hong Kong, people say, 360 what? Was it Xbox 360? No. So Jihu 360, besides being known as a security company, we also have a lot of clients. So these clients aren't buying our security products, but they are advertising on us. What they normally do, or most of them do, is writing on several different products, mobile, desktop, and find their customers in China. Currently, we have rep offices in only, last year we have presence in LA, in Sydney. Hopefully, we can expand very soon in a couple of other countries in Europe as well. In our HQ in Beijing, we have about 10,000 people. Some people tell us, wow, you guys have a lot of staff, but we're actually quite small compared to most internet companies in China. We have about 500 PC users and approximately 800 million mobile users. The security products on the mobile, mostly Android, is the second most popular after WeChat. So if anybody buy a mobile phone, especially Android, it ranges from 30 euros to maybe 300 euros per phone. They most likely would install an antivirus for a couple of reasons. I don't know if you happen to know, it doesn't exist in Europe or US, but in China, you can actually find fake apps that looks exactly the same as, let's say, HSBC or hotels.com. So you never know which app is actually the right one because, I'm just a typical user. I download the app and I want to, key in my, credit card number. So the reason why they installed Jihu 360 is to protect the phone, making sure the apps are genuine and they don't get any malware links sent out by their friends. Products. I don't think any of you have used this product here, except our friends from mainland China probably will. It's compatible on Android as well as Mac. iOS. The browser. The Chinese online users are very used to, you being the web page or landing page, giving me all the information that I want. So instead of us using, bookmarking sites that we want to go, typical Chinese websites would have, 20 scrolls. What that means is you go down 20 times, there are still words or pictures for you to click on. So a typical internet users would expect you or us, a provider, to give them everything from weather, shopping tips, discounts, sale, travel tips, etc. Search engine. Qihoo 360 used to work with Baidu because we have a lot of traffic coming from our browser. So then we push the traffic to Baidu when people are searching for keywords. And when they get a search results page, whenever someone clicks, then we revenue share with Baidu. And then one day our boss think, why share money with these guys? And instead, why don't we develop something ourselves? So by the end of 2012, we introduced our own search engine. Within 10 days, we launched our search engine. We took 10% market share back from Baidu because we gave them the traffic. And today we have about 35% market share. Baidu has about 50%. So a lot of our customers, the logos that you saw earlier, are mostly advertising on both platforms in order to cover most of the internet users in China. Navigation. Navigation is like the old days when we are using Yahoo, where they give us a directory where we can find information. So this is the page that I was talking about, that you will see thousands of words and links that you can click on going to pages that you need. App Store. There is no Google App Store, so if you're using an Android device, you most likely need an App Store in order to download apps. So the Qihoo 360 App Store, or what we call a mobile assistant, is one of the top popular App Store in China. We call it mobile assistant for a reason, because we also have a PC version. Imagine you are sitting in the office and in about 15 minutes you're going to leave the office and take a train to home. But there's this movie or music that you really want to listen to or watch. You can use the PC version to click on the things that you like. And before you leave the office, the same content or links is already synchronized to your mobile. So you can watch that movie or listen to the music on your way home. So the last one is it's the one called Hua Jiao. It's Chinese. Hua means flower. Jiao means pepper. Don't ask me why we have this name. I have no idea. But basically, this is the most popular social live streaming app currently in China. We have about 60 million downloads, 6 million daily active users. Okay, someone is downloading it already and seems to be using it. I'll give you a present for that. Oh, is it my computer? Advantage. We call ourselves the only trusted platform in China because of a couple of reasons. One, we are being the largest internet security company in China. We are responsible for a lot of users. So if they, have any problems in terms of security, we are there to fix it. So we are the first company to introduce a compensation program. Now, if you are using Google or Bing in the Western world, if you, looked up a website, you bought a ticket, and it happened, it was something else. What do? You can't really do anything about, instead of filing a complaint, try to find out what's going on and try to get a refund. In China, it's a different landscape. So if you have our antivirus installed, if you are using our browser, and if you bought a ticket, a plane ticket, a hotel ticket, if you're doing online banking or shopping, and for any reasons, you got tricked. I bought a pair of Nikes and I got sent a pair of fake stuff. You can claim 360 for your loss. So we are giving users a complete peace of mind if you bought a ticket for 300 euros flying to Beijing, or what happened? I got something else. You can actually claim us for your loss. We, of course, like insurance company, will check if you have all these logs that are given as some evidence. Understanding the Chinese market. Every time I give a speech or talk to people or meet CEOs of companies, I would ask them questions like, do you know the digital landscape in China? They go, yes, I do, very well. My team has done their study. I know exactly what I'm investing, and I know my return. You get this number everywhere from different companies. How tough is the Chinese market? This is news. On our competitor, a single click, a single CPC can cost up to 1,000 RMB per click. That is more than 120 euros per click. Can you imagine how much money you have to invest in order to get 800 million users? Somebody said, yeah, that's great because that generates a lot of money. But if you are the customer, you probably won't be very happy unless you get a massive conversion. So local players dominate the Chinese market. Recently, I think in the past 6 months, the advertising business is really tough because the Chinese government is imposing a lot of regulations for a couple of reasons. I don't know if you guys have read, but you can easily Google this information. A young chap, 25-year-old, was trying to look for some hospital treatment because he was sick. So at one of the search engine, he looked up something. The first result said, yeah, this is the right one for you. He clicked it. He actually went to the hospital, and the doctor said, you have to pay something like 20,000 euros to get your treatment. So he went back to his parents. He's still a kid. He went back to his parents and borrowed money. His parents actually borrowed money from others and paid to the hospital. The poor boy died after, I think, 2 weeks. This was news, I think, everywhere. Immediately, the government stepped in and said, this is a false advertising because, the hospital was actually just care about profits. So this was really sad, but so what happens now is any advertising related to what we call high risk, we have to turn them down. So this is strict regulations in China. When we say strict, it's really strict. I don't know if you have advertised on Google, as long as you have a credit card, you're fine. But our clients, let's say Singapore Airlines, they came to me and say, David, I want to promote our route between Beijing and Singapore. They have to submit a lot of documents. There's something you probably have heard of. They also have to provide us information such as aviation license. If you're an airline, you should have an aviation license. If you're a hospital, you should have various different licenses. So the documents that we collected are reflecting how real it should be. So minimizing the risk of someone running another Singapore airline in China. It might sound funny, but I was actually approached by a Shangri-La hotel. And the guy said, David, there is a Shangri-La hotel in China, which is not us. Can you get rid of it? When I say on our platform, you won't find it, because unless you can prove with all the documents that you are the Shangri-La hotel, then we will allow you to advertise. But other than that, other platforms are quite loose in terms of controlling. So where are these people? How can you find your customers in China? If you're talking about B2C, we have a lot of e-commerce customers. All they really wanted to do is know, is the lady, female 25 to 35 in Shanghai or Guangdong area would be interested to buy, my French lipstick? How do you know? Well, we have this data. Before you spend any money, you can go to our platform and look it up yourself. If you type in, I'm going to show you a demo later on how you can do it. But most of our customers wanted to have these people on the shore, the tier 1 cities in China, Beijing, Shanghai, Guangzhou, or Shenzhen. These are the people who are mostly more educated. They are having a stronger spending power. And in terms of being successful in China, to start with, don't think you can always beat the big boys in China because, some of you probably know how big, for example, JD.com is. They sell anything from cans of Coke to, hundreds of mobile phones. If you are trying to sell the same thing, you are competing with them with a lot of costs. So I also get questions from people asking me, should I do SEO in China? Because we have been doing SEO on Google. The benefit of organic search results, it's not ads, but to be honest, people don't really care in China. Whether it's an ad or not, sometimes you can't even tell. And it takes about 6 to 9 months to get your results. So most of our clients wanted to get results really quickly. We would recommend something else. China's search engine are using different algorithms. Now, if you're familiar with Google, you will know Google will rank your result higher if you get a higher quality score. Comparing ourselves with the other search engine, the other search engine is based on the amount of money that you pay, so you get rank number 1. I was giving this example earlier with someone here. If you're looking for KFC, KFC is really popular in China. Don't ask me why, but it's really, really popular. If you type KFC, you probably won't get the official KFC.cn or the advertisement on top. You get something else. On 360, our algorithm is very similar to Google. So we would have your relevancy. So if you are buying a keywords like hotels in Paris, if your web page or the creative are not related to hotels in Paris, maybe you are Disneyland Paris, who wanted to buy the keyword because people coming to Paris for the hotel probably want to go to Disneyland as well. But then your quality score will be slightly lower. Insights. Now, a couple of people asked me today, Qihoo 360 does what? Search engine, browser, app store, but we also do a lot of things including IoTs. So I can show you a bit later on. But mobile phones, GPS tracking device, camera. I was telling someone car camera isn't popular in France, but it's very popular in Asia. For security reasons. So if you're driving, if some idiot sort of, scratch your car and you call the police said, so whose fault is it? You probably have to spend like 30 minutes explaining to the police, it's his fault. And then the guy said, no, he hit me first. So with the camera, everything is recorded on the SD card. You can just play it back using your mobile phone and show it to the police or to the court. And it's settled. So I'm not saying that, people driving in China are very bad compared to Paris, but to be honest, I used to come to Paris quite often when I was young, but this time after like 15 years, I was really shocked. I couldn't cross the road. I was okay in Beijing and China, in general in China, but Paris is a different world. How do we target people? How do we help marketers find your target? So on the PC side, we have, we will be able to tell the behavior of our users. If this David guy in Shenzhen on Monday was looking up hotels in Paris, and he also downloaded an app, a TripAdvisor Chinese version, and I know this guy is coming to Paris for sure. He's planning it. I can then talk to hotels.com and say, do you want to target these bunch of people? They would have a need to buy hotels, book hotels or buy plane tickets. So based on their browsing behavior, the location, the clicks or the pictures that they click into, apps they download, their type of device that they're using, we can help marketers to pinpoint your target audience. The analytic tools are the ones that I'm going to walk you through later on. The green one, I was showing it to a few people today, is what we call 360 Index, index.so.com. It's a free tool that you can't find anywhere else in China from any other internet companies. Tencent, for example, do not disclose any data to anybody. Baidu, you have to have an account to access it. Other people just, we don't have any data. But what this does is if you type in any keywords that are, you can imagine is popular. For example, if you type in Lancome in Chinese, of course, you can try English as well. You can see where these people are looking for this keyword. Are they male, female? What's the trend like? I'm going to show you a live demo later on. You can see where they're coming from. Are the searches mainly coming from the northern part, the eastern part, or the southern part? And what's their sort of demographics like? Okay, I've only got 2 minutes, so I have to be really quick. I apologize for rushing this. But I think you get the idea. Behavior analysis, this is something interesting. I mean, I think most of you are from very different industries. If you're in tourism, for example, you probably will be interested in keywords that are related to tourism. And based on our different user behavior, you can target these people based on media, location, demographic, keyword. And recently we have introduced a data management platform that can give you sort of even more insights about your campaigns. How big data helps? So we help you to segment your campaign. You can personalize your ad content because you know who you are targeting. You have a different target strategy through paid search or native ad display, whether on desktop or mobile. An alternative on the social media part is you can leverage the live streaming product that I talked about earlier. Chinese tourists traveling to Europe. The last time I did a talk in Amsterdam, it was quite surprising, how Chinese travelers are trying to buy in Amsterdam, cheese and some other interesting stuff as well that I didn't think about. But in general, there are 13 million tourists visiting Europe. Average shopping is 3,500. I think that's fair. If you go to Lafayette, you can easily see how these Chinese travelers are spending. Peak season, Golden Week, where they're coming from, mainly tier 1 city, but nowadays there are tier 2 cities as well. Some pictures. I was in Tokyo 2 weeks ago. It's worse than this. I can tell you this. It's insane. I was asked by my wife to go buy a skincare product in Shinjuku in Tokyo. I just literally couldn't get in. It was packed with people on a weekday. And by the time I got to the counter, the lady said, sold out. And my wife said, no way, it was just released last week. And it's all gone. I think most of you understand sort of why there are a lot of buying behavior now from China through online. We have customers from New Zealand and Australia, and they sell honeys. And you can buy the same thing in China, but they trust the product being delivered directly from Auckland, New Zealand, better, and they're willing to pay for the delivery. So the last quick product I want to talk to you about is we can pinpoint the Chinese travelers the moment they landed the Charles de Gaulle airport. So when tourists landed at your airport, when they switch on their data roaming or if they have a Wi-Fi egg, we'll be able to pinpoint where they are. And we can push some ads saying that, for example, if you go to the duty-free shop, you get 20% off. So we can help you to bring these target travelers to your shop. That's mostly for retail. So a very, very quick summary. You should advertise yourselves or product, your brand on a trusted media, because if you don't, you're going to have a lot of sort of negative impact later on. Have a lot of understanding before you spend any money on any media platform. Run local paid search display ad campaigns to target the Chinese consumer. Just some ad formats: Rolex, H&M, Amazon. These are what we call the brand express product. When Chinese people type in Rolex, you get 80% of the page coverage. The CTR of this ad product is about 70% to 90%, so it's really high. So people tend to click it right away because they think it's an expensive ad. It must be the official company. Thank you very much.